Dear Boomers, verse 17 of the Tao Te Ching. With the greatest leader above them, people barely know one exists. Next comes one whom they love and they praise. Next comes one whom they fear. Next comes one whom they despise and defy. When a leader trusts no one trusts the leader. A great leader speaks little. He never speaks carelessly. And she works without self-interest. And she leaves no trace. I have had bosses that have been really miserable people, and some of them have not. But I must say, the ones I have loved stick in my mind. So when all is finished, the people say, we did it ourselves, and that's a great leader. The leader does not take credit for these things that we have done. So, this verse of the Tao Te Ching turns our modern idea of leadership inside out, upside down, because we often think the best leaders are the most visible, giving speeches, making bold declarations, standing at the front. But the Tao reminds us that true leadership is not about ego. It is not about the leader at all. It's about the people and their empowerment from the leader. And that takes a special kind of person, one who has actually worked on themselves and have imparted a certain degree of wisdom in everything that they do. So the highest form of leadership is subtle, so subtle that those being led feel as though they have achieved their success entirely on their own. Now, I have not had too many bosses that have done this, and I don't think too many bosses when I was working had any idea how to lead with a sense of service. And this doesn't mean the leader is absent or disengaged. It is quite the opposite. It means they are deeply in tune with their people, guiding without controlling, influencing without dominating. At one point, I wrote something called punitive leadership styles, which is what people have adapted so often, just shaming people and taking them into their office and shouting at them. This verse also warns of the descending levels of leadership. If the leader seeks recognition and praise, they may be liked, but their leadership rests on approval, which can be fleeting. If they lead through fear, their authority may last, but it will not inspire loyalty. After they breed disgust or disdain, they will face resistance and rebellion. And this kind of leadership, and all leadership, applies here. It applies to heads of state, heads of countries, heads of the great USA. The great leader speaks little because words are powerful, and careless speech can fracture trust. That is a beautiful thing from the Tao Te Ching. Our speech is probably best left unsaid. They act without self-interest because their vision is larger than their own ambition. They leave no trace, not because they do nothing, but because what they do becomes so interwoven with the community's efforts that no single hand is seen. Please subscribe to this channel, and in the description below, you may please subscribe to the Dear Boomers community, where we discuss all kinds of wonderful, in-depth things. I would call them courageous conversations. So when the work is complete and the goal is achieved, the people feel the accomplishment belongs to them. And in truth, it does. The leader's greatest legacy is not in being remembered, but in leaving behind a group of people who no longer need them. And you know how that is. People don't like to feel unneeded, especially leaders. They want people to have a codependent relationship with them. I have seen that many times. People suck up to the boss and everybody else resents it. So in our lives, we can practice this principle not only in formal leadership roles, but in parenting, teaching, mentoring, and even friendship. The Tao asks us, can we step back enough to let others step forward? Can we guide without the need for credit? Can we trust enough to be trusted in return? That is the great spiritual dilemma before us all. We have to get out of the ego. The ego is no longer part of what, we have to have a certain amount of ego in terms of being able to even move in the morning and in the evening, but I'm talking about egolessness where we allow others to be who they are. The 17th verse calls us to lead by empowering, to act without attachment, and to remember that the truest measure of our influence is the freedom and confidence of those we serve. There will be videos that show up here. Take a look at them, subscribe to the channel, and come join us on the Dear Boomers community. And the link is in the description below. Mwah. Love to you all. Love, love, love.